What's up everybody, I'm Mongoose, you are awesome, and today on Your Goose is Cooked, I'm going to be making a pumpkin spice smoothie and a hot pumpkin spice cocktail. Now, I usually fucking hate trendy foods, and right now pumpkin spice is fucking everywhere. However, all it is cinnamon and nutmeg, and that's something I can get behind. I actually started making a pumpkin spice smoothie over the summer and figured that now is a pretty good time to show you guys how to make it. Smoothies are another thing that piss me off. I hate when somebody comes up to me with like some green bullshit talking about, oh, you have to try this, it's so good, and it's good for you. Bullshit. Every time you taste one of these, you're all nice about it, you say like, oh, that's actually pretty good for what it is. Which means, this tastes like fruity shit instead of just regular unsweetened shit. When I make a smoothie, it's because I want something that tastes good, fills my belly, and I need something I can slam down on the way to work because I'm already late and tripping over my pants and stuff. Not only are we going to be making a smoothie today, but I'm also going to try and make a warm alcoholic version of this. For both recipes, you'll need some kind of thick-skinned squash. Doesn't have to be a pumpkin. It could be like an acorn squash, butternut works well, you get the idea. I'm using an acorn squash. You need cinnamon and nutmeg, sugar, 2 cups of cold coffee, and a half cup of heavy cream. You can use any kind of dairy, really. I'm just going whole hog on this. Let's get to cutting this acorn squash up. A regular kitchen knife isn't quite big enough for the job, so get your sharpest machete and clean it up with some warm soapy water. If you don't have a machete, well, I guess you're fucked then, ain't ya? Nah, I'm just kidding. You could use a large kitchen knife. I got this machete out, though, to make this joke, so might as well give it a whack. Make sure I don't put the damn lights out. And I didn't hit it hard enough. Oh god, this machete has a saw blade on the back, so I can't push down on it. This was a terrible idea. Okay, we split it in half. Now let's switch to the knife. But first, we need to get all the gunk out of the middle, so just take a spoon and scoop all the seeds and the guts out. Keep the seeds, though. You can toast them up and make some pretty damn good snack. Now, I normally don't buy a gourd and cut it up because it's a pain in the ass. They sell pre-cut squash at a lot of grocery stores, and I just get that. I figured I would show you how to cut them up though, because it is a pain, and I would hate for one of my subs to try it out and cut their little fingies. Start cutting the squash into sections. Where did these fucking seeds come from? If you're going to make a YouTube video later, be on the lookout for a good looking wedge to use for your thumbnail. Once you have it in wedges, cut the wedge into smaller sections. Do not try to run your knife along the rind like it's a cantaloupe. That's a great way to cut the shit out of yourself. Turn the section over and cut the meat away from the rind. You'll end up wasting a lot of the meat, but that's the cost you pay to save your fingers. Let's get Uncle Jesse out and spread the pieces evenly in the pan. Sprinkle some sugar over, now a good dusting of cinnamon. Go easy with the nutmeg. Nutmeg is like strong as hell. It's like the One Punch Man of spices. Now let's throw some of these seeds in here to toast. Load it up in a 370-degree oven and let it bake for about 10 to 15 minutes or until you can easily insert it and remove a toothpick. Once they're done, load them all up into a bowl and let them cool for a bit before putting them in a freezer bag. Now you can freeze them for when you need them. I already had some frozen and ready to go, so I'm just going to break them up a bit. Add a cup of the cold coffee to your blender. Toss in about a cup of the frozen squash chunks. Add about half a cup of the heavy cream. Let's give it a grind. By the way, how you like the new blender? I'm going to load the other one up with the discarded rind, tape the button down, and see how long that fucker lasts. Get yourself a spoon and check for taste to see if you need to add anything, and also for consistency. I want a smoothie, not a cold soup. If it's too thin, like it is now, just add some more frozen chunks. If it's too thick, add more coffee and or cream. Now is also a good time to adjust how much cinnamon, sugar, and nutmeg you add in. The coffee can of course be very bitter, and if you're not into that, you may want to add a good deal of sugar to sweeten the deal. Now I'm going to pour this all in a glass and dust the top with some more cinnamon to garnish. I'm really only doing this for the video. I normally make these the night prior and put the smoothie in a mason jar so I can just grab it and go in the morning. There we go, that looks nice and pretty. Now let's make pretty much the same thing, but a warm alcoholic version. Let's grab the squash out of the oven that we put in earlier, add in a cup of hot coffee, the hot chunks of squash, about a half cup of the cream, and some Bailey's Irish cream, however much you want really. I'm putting in about a shot and a half maybe, I don't know. A little more of the sugar and spice, grind it up. Grab our spoon and give it a taste. I'm going for a much thinner consistency this time. Let's adjust our spices. That's a little too thin, so I'm going to use the rest of these chunks. There we go. I'm going to pour this into a nice big hefty mug. Toss a few of the toasted seeds on top to garnish, and bam! It's Dunskies. Now I'm going to artfully arrange all this shit for a thumbnail and then give it a try. Oh yeah, that's exactly what I wanted out of this. I don't care how much coffee is in there. If you come in from a long day out in the cold and tuck into a hot mug of this shit, it's going to be time to lay on the couch and take the best nap of your life. Alright folks, I hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you did, hit that like button for me and let me know in the comments below the most ridiculous pumpkin spice flavored food you've seen so far. Now instead of my regular sign off, let's fuck up my old blender. I've got it filled with squash rind and heavy cream. It's on a metal table in case it actually catches on fire, and I can pull the plug on it if it does. I'm going to use some duct tape to hold the button down and let her rip. Seems like it stopped. Let me take the tape off the button here. Yeah, it's fucked. This was a bit anticlimactic. I expected more smoke and fire. This fucker really is hot though. It's like hot to the touch. Anyway, I'm going to be making a functional Richter hook soon, and this blender will probably fall victim to that. So if you want to see it truly destroyed, you can wait for that, I guess. Anyway, that's all for now, folks. This is Mongoose signing off. You guys have a good one. Mangoose!